Welcome to episode 261 of Say Like a Champ. It's your boy A-Dub.
How your boys, Trizzy? What's up, SLAC fam?
Back in the building again. Another great week in sports and really sports preparation. This is kind of a lull right now, but this is the quiet before the storm. We got a lot to look forward to. College football starting for real, even though it already kind of started week 0, but starting for real this weekend. And then, only 2 weeks away from the NFL. So a lot of fun stuff going on. A lot of slackers already in the building. Want to welcome everybody in. We got moms, Stephanie Washington, Kelly, and Pops. Thank you all for commenting already and being a part of the show. We appreciate you. And of course, we appreciate my brother Strizzy. How are you feeling today, fam? What's good with you?
Kind of busy day for me today, you know what I'm saying, work-wise, but, you know what I'm saying, got through it like usual. What about yourself?
I'm doing good, A lot's happening. I actually have some cool thing going on this week on Friday that I did want to mention, do a quick plug, but a friend of mine got me involved at Glendale Community College, which is actually the place where Strizzy and I met, actually,
For real.
of all things. So, they made a movie this summer. Their Cinema Society Club made a movie, and I had a little cameo in it. Not cameo really, but I had like a little bit part, like a background role in it. And they actually asked me to kind of help with this event. They're doing a screening event on Friday. It's going to be like a little bit of a pre-show and then a screening of the film. And I'm actually going to be helping them stream it to their YouTube channel too. So it's going to give me a chance to kind of do something different with the hosting and kind of go a little bit out of my comfort zone, but also try something new. So you never know. But if you guys are interested, I will be posting kind of a little bit more about that as the week goes. So, and if you're free Friday, you can check out the stream and see how well it goes. Hopefully, it'll be really cool.
Oh, you already know.
Yeah. So, Stephanie said, "How can we see it?" So, yeah. So it'll be on the Cinema Society. They have just started a YouTube channel. So it's gonna be streaming to their YouTube channel, but I'll be sure to be posting the links and stuff on my socials and I'll share it out. So if you guys want to check it out, that would be super cool, and especially kind of to support the youngsters. They put a lot of effort into making the movie. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, I can tell you how long it takes for me to make a 30-second video and
for real
a minute video and editing. So short film, regular film, like I can imagine the amount of work and effort that went into this, man. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to check it out.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, for sure. No, I know. Like, it seems like for just a little piece of content, it wouldn't be that much work, but it's a lot that goes into it. So
it's a lot.
That's what's up. Grace says Happy Tuesday. She's got the pumpkin out. And yeah, it's definitely officially spooky season. We're close. We're basically this is our last show in August, which is crazy.
Right.
We always talk about how quick time flies once everything gets rolling, but. Also, Kelly says she's so ready for college football. We're going to be doing a first of its kind thing for us. So we started doing the NFL predictions. So we're going to do a few college football predictions at the end of the show to kind of get the season kicked off right. But without further ado, I think let's go ahead and jump in to our first topic. And this one's kind of selfish as we do our NFL talk. Like for me, I kind of got my boys in here a couple times, but starting off with, there's not a lot of crazy NFL news, but one big thing that we've been waiting for all summer, CeeDee Lamb getting his contract, 4 years, $120 million, $75 million guaranteed, $55 million at signing, which is crazy. I think his signing bonus was 38, so I don't know how the rest of that came in there, but what did you think about the contract for CeeDee Lamb?
I like it, actually. It's funny. Me and you literally talked about this Sunday night. Literally, when you came through, we talked about it Sunday night, and then it happened Monday like morning or something like that. So
yeah,
funny how those things happen. But I'm with it. I believe it does it. It still doesn't make him the top wide receiver, does it? Or did it?
No, it makes him second.
Second, yeah.
And actually, it's like 4 years, 136. So I don't know. I think this might be. I need to adjust this graphic. Actually, I think it's a little bit more than that.
I think it is. I think it's like I think it's like 130 something as well. But still, you know what I mean. Like I'm happy it got done. It needed to get done. Dak is probably closer to the end of his career than he is the beginning of it. You know what I'm saying? So whoever they decide to get in after Dak, you know what I mean. They've inked in and locked up their receiver for the future. You know what I'm saying? And the season that he had last year, I think it was definitely earned. You know what I mean? So I like it, man. Like, you know me, I'm not the biggest Cowboy fan, but I'm a big OU fan. So seeing one of my OU boys get that money, you know what I'm saying, I'm always for it. So shout out to him, man. Like he kind of stuck his ground and was basically like didn't like what they're sending him, you know what I'm saying, at first, and he got a couple more guaranteed dollars. So I'm with it, man. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, that's insane that you could sign your name and be guaranteed that much money. But he definitely did a great job, career year, phenomenal year. Cowboys record-setting year as far as receptions, yards last year, 1,700 yards. That's crazy.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, it was just a matter of time. But definitely glad to see him get his contract and stick around. I'm hoping, there's a slim chance they might just finish, get Dak done. But I really think it's going to be at the end of the season type of thing. But you never know. They might just pull a fast one on that too. But one other piece of Cowboys news, which I was interested in your opinion on, Dalvin Cook apparently is going to work out for the Cowboys or worked out for the Cowboys today. Potentially another running back to add on to the roster. What do you think about having this potential pair now at the tail end of their careers instead of where they were when this picture was taken?
Yeah, man, this picture taken, what is this, 2015? You know what I'm saying? Like
a while ago. 17 maybe?
Yeah. I'm like, this is vaguely, arguably when they were like two of the best running backs in the league, destroying people's offensive lines, you know what I mean? Now it's kind of whatever, you know what I mean? Like Dalvin Cook didn't really play too much last season.
Yeah.
Zeke was he had an okay year, but it really kind of happened when Stevenson kind of more so got hurt. He got a lot more playing time than he was obviously going to see.
Yeah.
But it'll depend. Like I think it'll be fun to see if they can have any type of resurgence. They're not old; they're just a little worn down. You know what I'm saying? So
running back old, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I guess you could say old in football years, maybe. But you know what I mean. Like it would be cool. I know the not the backcourt, but the running backs right now aren't exactly like looking too great. But in name it looks fun. What I'm saying? In name it looks fun. Zeke and Cook. But I don't know, man. Like I'm a little worried about y'all run game this year, but we'll see how they make it work.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to me because I wasn't worried about it until this story started coming up where I'm like, dang, are they still looking for outside help? Like, what does that mean? Because I really thought, and I do kind of have faith in Rico Dowdle. He's like kind of unknown, but if the O-line does well, like he's got the kind of juice. He could be like a breakout type of thing, or at least he could surprise some folks. And then they also kept Deuce Vaughn, which I think is pretty cool. But he's, the shorter guy out of Kansas State, and he makes flashy moves, but he just hasn't had a chance like anywhere outside of the preseason. So,
right.
I don't really know. I think it's like I'm kind of willing to give it a shot with those guys and just see what happens behind our O-line, and then maybe do this later. Like, do you have to do it right now? I don't know, but we'll see.
On the flip side too is, both of those guys are used to being workhorses, right? The start of their careers, they were, 4 down, 3 down backs. So
a ton of carries.
I think if you run the ball 20 times a game and both of them get about 10 touches each, you know what I mean? Like maybe that helps keep them healthy, or if one of them's going really, really well, you ride them more so for the game, maybe 15 to 10 or 15 to 5, something like that. But as long as they don't have to be workhorse backs, it still might be all right.
Yeah, I feel you. Pop says he is done. Go with the youngster bum status. We already have broken down Elliott. Our O-line is better, and any decent back can produce behind a good O-line. So we'll see. I just think it is one funny thing I did want to know before we move on is on the picture, Elliott, when he signed the jersey, he signed it. I know it's hard to see, but he signed it, D Cook, go get that bag. And it's so funny that like both of them kind of crashed out on getting too big of a deal and then having to move away from that. So, and I do think that Cook hasn't been the same, obviously, since he left the Vikings, but the whole Jets year, just in the injury, just kind of threw things off for him.
Big time.
Almost like our boy also from the Jets, though, who he held out for money and then he was never the same. That ended up bouncing up with who was that? Le'Veon Bell, maybe?
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, that's okay.
He held out for like damn near 2 seasons before he ended up leaving the Steelers and going to the Jets, and nothing after that.
Yeah.
Bro averaged like 2 yards a carry or something crazy, something weak.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully that's not what Cook did. We'll see. But He definitely didn't have any interest at all of free agency until basically today. Is the last time anybody's talked about signing him. So I don't know.
Le'Veon Bell wanted that Christian McCaffrey money. He didn't get it.
Yeah, rightfully so. Sorry, Bell, but no.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple injury updates going into the season. Unfortunately, Browns Nick Chubb and then also ODJ from the Dolphins going to be out for at least the first 4 games starting the year on the PUP list. I feel bad for Chubb. I feel better about the Cowboys' chances week 1, though, knowing that he's not going to play. But what did you think about these guys? Especially, I want to hear what you think about Beckham Jr. in Miami. Like, that's kind of a new thing that I almost forgot about.
Yeah, I know. I honestly forgot about it too. Sucks for Chubb, but also might kind of be better for him, right? You know, no need to rush him back. That defense is phenomenal. You know, we'll see how Watson does. If Watson can kind of get back to some type of form, you know, that we're used to seeing him play back when he was with Houston, they should be perfectly fine without him for the first 4 games, right? OBJ, I feel like he's just kind of hoping and praying. You know what I'm saying? Like, his injuries have been really severe ones as well. I think 2 ACL injuries now, or 1 ACL, 1 meniscus, and something like that, MCL.
Yeah,
so
and plus age.
Exactly, age too. So right now, I feel like he's just getting attached to some of these teams on name. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't really know how much you have left, dude, and you know what I mean. So, but you know, we'll see how it goes. I don't expect much from him this upcoming year, but if he still needs some time to recover as well, can only do him, I guess, positive as well. But I think for Chubb is still a major part of that offense. But an extra 4 games to make sure he's really ready to go when they actually need him, actually is going to do both of them good, him and the Browns.
Yeah, I agree. And I know it's probably eating him up because he's a competitor. He's been working so hard to get back. But at the same time, like, you're right, it's going to protect him from himself a little bit more. So
yeah, agree.
Pop says OBJ always injured. Old recapture the magic.
Yeah,
but he'll be able to get open in that scheme probably for the Dolphins though, with all the other fast guys on the outside. So
yeah, he can play a lot of underneath routes, maybe some third down type stuff. You know what I mean? 3rd and short. Yeah. But like, as far as getting open, like, it's not happening anymore. You don't have that explosiveness anymore. It's not there.
Yeah, for sure. I want to welcome Anthony West into the show.
What's up, man?
Right on time as always. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Other things. Well, Malik Willis, I thought this was kind of interesting. Got traded to the Packers. On cutdown day, the Packers actually ended up cutting both of the backup quarterbacks that they were carrying out of the 3, you know, or the 2 behind Jordan Love. And then they traded for Malik Willis, which I kind of think that's cool. Obviously, he's not going to get his chance with another young guy in Levis being in Tennessee. So maybe he can have a chance to do something, especially because if Jordan Love got hurt, the Packers are going to be in trouble.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Big time.
Other than that, I was looking at the cuts. There weren't any crazy notable cuts, honestly.
Yeah.
There was a few big names, but not anything too surprising, I guess, because of just where they're at in their careers and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But nothing too crazy that stood out to me. But one other cool signing, the Chiefs actually, and this is for our boy Anthony, signing Juju Smith-Schuster back. Oh, yeah, and they did cut Kadarius Toney, which I wanted to ask Anthony's opinion about that. I felt like that was just a long time coming, really. But what do you think about the wide receiver moves for the Chiefs? They're always going to figure it out, but
I'm not really high. It's funny because, like, you know, I think Juju is definitely a step up from KT. That's for sure. You know what I mean? I just feel like KT, like I said, it was coming. If they were going to get rid of anybody, me and Ant talked about this, is going to be between KT and Sky Moore. And I just feel like Sky Moore is cheaper. He's on his rookie deal still. Why would you let him go instead of, you know, Kadarius Toney? So it made sense. I kind of saw this coming. And then you get Juju back, and it's kind of like, you know, where is he at right now mentally? Not necessarily physically, but mentally. You know, playing 2 years on the Patriots. Granted, you know how bad they were offensively, but it's like when you're on a team that bad offensively, it's kind of like you didn't get to see him. You didn't get to see him really play at all. You know what I mean? Like, you look at how kind of bad those 2 seasons were. It's kind of like, do you have something left? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, how good are you still? Granted, they're not asking him to come over there and be the number 1 receiver, but But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. Anthony says Juju knows the offense and he plays a similar role to Rice, and that's true. Yeah, I think that at least that's the familiarity. Like they just need somebody. They don't need anybody to do anything too crazy. Just know the playbook. He can pick it up pretty quick and just get back. And that's true. He was on the Super Bowl team, so it was just 1 year away and coming back. So another welcome Earthly to the show. What's good, fam? And yeah, Bailey Zappi was released by the Patriots, which it's crazy, man. He got booed when he came out during the preseason. Like that's pretty bad. Like especially when he was a guy that got thrown in with the chance to start and wasn't really ready. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I am glad though Joe Milton is getting a chance to stay with the Patriots. He's like a kind of a dynamic quarterback for sure, and kind of more similar to Drake May, I think. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, that was one of their bigger name releases, Bailey Zappi too. Anything else though for Cowboys sent the Chiefs a tight end? Yeah, so they were gonna cut Peyton Hendershot, but ended up trading him to the Chiefs, which that's a rare deal between the Cowboys and the Chiefs. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, lots of just kind of like fringe type of moves, but nothing too crazy, especially for like considering that the teams had to go from 90 down to 53.
I know.
It's I still think that's such a weird like shift, but I guess it makes the preseason a little bit better. It's really like the biggest job interview in the world, right? Because really all those guys competed for like maybe 4 or 5 spots.
Exactly. For the most part, going into camp, you already know essentially who your 50 are, right? 50 of these guys, 48 of these guys are going to make the team regardless. And then you're just kind of looking for those outside guys. You said those 3 to 5 guys. It's like, can you kick somebody off of this team? You know what I mean? And you really got to play your butt off to kick somebody off that team. So, yeah, like starts off high, but the number shifts from like 90 to 50 really, really quick.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's what's up. We'll be doing some more NFL schedule predictions. We're going to try to finish them off, but also want to remind everybody that we got the pick'em going. Also, a few people I think we got signed up for the fantasy league as well too. Are you good on that, Strizzy?
Yeah, I think we need at least one more person to draft. Stephanie, I sent you. If you're still there, I sent you a message on Instagram with a link to get into it. And then we were thinking maybe Kels and Moms might be able to like co-do a team maybe. You know what I'm saying? Draft together, things of that nature. And then we'll kind of see where we're at. And I know Earth said if we need one more, he has someone who can jump on too. So we might have like a full house this upcoming year. And then definitely got to talk to our boy Marcus as well. I know, again, we always say, condolences to him and his family with everything that's going on. But, definitely want to reach out to him too eventually, kind of see how he's feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to push fantasy on him. It's not exactly the right time for him to be probably thinking about fantasy or anything. He's not thinking about it. So we'll see.
Yeah. No, yeah, I understand for sure. So, okay. So, yeah, we'll get it worked out. Stephanie, all good. No worries.
Yeah, for sure.
We definitely know you're all over the pick'em too. And I do want to say thank you for the people that you've invited to kind of grow the pick'em as well. So that's what's up. Yeah, the pick'em is set up on the Yahoo. You should have gotten an email invite. But if not, I'll make sure we have like the link in our bio or send out the links again. Mom says, when is the draft? I think we're Saturday. Okay. Yeah. So we got the rest of the week to work that through. Also, I know she's happy about that. Rams kept Stetson Bennett. I think he's pretty solid, despite throwing a lot of turnovers and picks and stuff like that. Like, he's definitely a gamer, Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. And then we got Shy in the building too. What's good? Welcome to the show. Actually, that's a perfect time to transition to basketball. Nothing too crazy in basketball, but it was 8/24/24. You know what I'm saying? The Mamba Day, as always, on when it's August 24th, but this year with the year on there too, and Kobe's birthday last week. So happy birthday to Kobe! And then also an interesting thing, I wanted to get your opinion if you saw this. Goran Dragic had a farewell charity basketball event in Slovenia and actually brought out a lot of stars.
Boss was there, first time playing in like 6 years, something like that.
Yeah. Steve Nash, Boban. I think
Yeah.
it was a really cool event. Even Joker
Luka.
was out there.
Yeah.
Luca. You got a lot of he got a lot of people to come through for him. But
Yeah.
what did you think
That's
about
fun.
that? Yeah.
Honestly, I liked it. I thought that was really, really cool. I thought it was, obviously Goran Dragic is not the type of player, Kobe, not getting necessarily the Felch, or he's not, Dwayne Wade, triple double in his last game. Like, although he's not that player, right? But it shows how many people that he played with who loved him, who was willing to do something like that for him for his retirement. And I thought that was so cool. Honestly, like it's another way of going out and kind of playing your last game. And even though it wasn't necessarily NBA related, you got to see just a lot of players. Kind of, it's almost like a celebrity game, but amongst players that played with him and that he loved and loved him and things of that nature. So I thought it was super cool. You know what I mean? Just a really, really cool kind of way to kind of retire and put your stamp on the game and things of that nature. But I thought it was really dope.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the first time I ever saw he's literally like throwing a basketball game as his retirement party. Like, let's all get together. And
Exactly.
the fact that it was for charity too. Like, most of the proceeds went to charity and they had a packed event. I just think that's tight. Like, how cool is that?
Dude, I think I honestly hope more players do it. Like, you look at a guy like Carmelo Anthony, could you imagine like his kind of charity game if you did something like this too? You know what I mean? People like you bring Dwayne Wade back out to play with you, LeBron probably goes out to play, CP3 goes out to play, other guys who, hell, maybe AI goes out there and has some fun with him a little bit.
True.
You know what I mean? Like so many guys who put a kind out there and play with them who played with them in the past. It's for fun. You know what I mean? It's not super competitive. They're all joking around. No one's trying to injure each other.
Nobody's playing crazy defense.
You can see in those 4 pictures, everyone's smiling and laughing. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that would be really dope. Like you said, Nash getting out there and playing a little bit like that's I don't know. That was dope to me. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think he might have started a trend for sure, and especially because he got all these people to participate, and they had to go all the way to Slovenia to play.
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing this and you're like, oh, we're gonna do this in Vegas, we're gonna do this wherever, LA, you definitely can get some people to come through. So
seriously.
Anthony says Luka looked heavier. Nah, man, the camera adds 10 pounds. Luka's cool, man.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, he's fine. They're deep in the off season, so. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool though. But yeah, we might see a little bit more of that. But that was a pretty cool thing. They did the little Last Dragon game. Keeping it moving, I know we talked about baseball a little bit last week. I did want to bring up a really cool Shohei Ohtani. I will start with him joining the 40-40 club, 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases, becoming only the 6th player ever to do that in MLB history, which is pretty crazy. And also the way he did it in the game. He stole a base earlier in the game and then actually had a walk-off grand slam to hit his 40th home run. So he joined the 40-40 club and actually I don't think he's on pace for the home runs, but he's close. He could potentially be the first ever player to do 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in the same year, depending on how he finishes out this last month of the season. Pretty dope, pretty crazy. And then Judge, just a couple years away, removed from breaking the home run record, the AL home run record with 62. He's on pace to actually hit 63 home runs this year. So crazy stuff. I think it's always fair game to put Aaron Judge anytime home run for sure. Either of these guys, really.
Seriously. And I hope the teams kind of give him a chance at getting it. Every once in a while they just walk him every plate appearance, and it's so annoying. It's like, come on, guys. I get it, but sometimes it happens for teams that aren't even remotely close to the playoff contention. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Fox walk him 4 times. It's like, come on, that's ridiculous. So I hope he gets the chance to actually get it, and these teams don't, come with the BS and to prevent him from doing it. But yeah, crazy. Easily one of the best hitters of all time if he's not already that.
Right. No, for sure. And it's funny though. Anthony West says can't just walk Judge. It's true. It's he has the benefit of having those guys around him too. So that does definitely help. And I feel like that's got him a better chance at it versus Barry Bonds when he hit his. He would be walked 2-3 times a night. He would only be pitched once a night and still hit however many 72 home runs or whatever it was. Crazy. So Yeah, Barry Bonds definitely was a beast, but two sluggers out here going for historic seasons. I was thinking though too, if Ohtani does like 50-50 or even just doing the 40-40 and how good of a hitter he is, do you think he should come back to being a pitcher, or do you think he's good enough to just be a hitter?
Oh, he's definitely good enough to just be a hitter, and that's for sure. But I don't know. I'm curious on what he wants to do. You know what I mean? He really doesn't have to pitch, but it's like if I don't know, man. Like I know there's always that like the end. Everyone's got an opinion, but if he continues to just be the pitcher that he is and the hitter that he is, I just feel like he's one of those guys who could easily go down as the best all time. Like who at that high of a level, like
right.
I mean, dude's throwing 9, 11 strikeout games consistently, and then going to bat and will hit a home run. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
he'll win the game on both sides.
There's so many guys that you could arguably say like, oh, it's the best ever, but like the level he does it at is
and
it's
to
like
do
him and everyone under him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. It's like imagine Aaron Judge was throwing averaging like 7 strikeouts a game too. Like you know what I mean? Like how do you? I don't know, dude. Dude's amazing, man. He's a freak athlete for sure.
Yeah, most definitely he is, and I agree. I think it's true. Like just for that chance to see something different and to be something different, I think that they should let him continue to pitch. But he's definitely good enough as a hitter on his own too. So that's an interesting one. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully he does return to form after his surgery and does well next year. But it's so cool that he was able to still impact the game while being out. Which if he was a pitcher, he would have just missed all year.
All year, exactly. Whole year.
Pop says, I think his contract starting next year is with the expectation for him to pitch. And I do agree. Like, that's why he made so much money.
Yeah.
So, got to let him see if he can go out there and do it. But definitely super dope to see. Looking at the standings, too, I found a better view for looking at this, the AL and the NL wild cards, because we have the division leaders in there and then the wild card race behind them. And it's really cool. The Royals, they're leading the Guardians, but it was delayed today. But they're actually only one game back of the Guardians in the AL Central. Hopefully they can win that division. They won the first 2 games of their series against them. So that's so cool. But a couple close races on either side.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks, Padres, and Dodgers are so close. All being in the NL West is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. That's insane.
They'll definitely all 3 make the playoffs, and it's just weird with the familiarity though that happens with those matchups, those playoff matchups. It's so different.
Yep.
All right. What else we got? Real quick. Oh, okay. I do have another thing we want to debate real quick, but hold on. Let me hit these comments. Anthony Weston says, man, I know they're going to give it to Judge, but the MVP, I think is more valuable. I would agree. The way he's hitting, I think he already has like 200 hits. He's like way leading in hits.
Oh, yeah.
But also like just his impact to the team.
Exactly.
And then Salvador Perez and Vinny Pasquantino on the Royals, like those 3 guys all have 90 RBIs. Like a lot of their production is coming from those 3 guys, but they've been so good and so consistent that they've propelled them forward. So Witt, though, definitely a game changer. I'm so glad they paid him. I'm so glad that they wanted to keep him instead of like Royals of the past might just like develop somebody like that and then trade him. So, but yeah. Pop says, what if he does 40-40 again next year and wins 20 games in references to Ohtani? Yeah, that would be one of the best seasons ever. I think that would cement him in a whole different league. So
seriously, dude. Oh my God, man.
That would be crazy. All right. One more debate I wanted to have. So golf coming up this weekend at the East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta. They're the final, the PGA FedEx Cup playoff final will be starting. And I think we've touched on this before, but I wanted to get your opinion, like how they do the actual the scoring. So, they take the playoff standings. Scotty Scheffler obviously first with 6 wins this year, but he gets to start the tournament basically at 10 under, and then you have it going down in tiers from there based on the FedEx playoff points. What do you think about that? Xander Schauffele at 8 under, Hideki Matsuyama at 7 under. Like, I feel like it makes it harder for the guys towards the bottom to actually win the final.
Oh, yeah.
but I also get giving some kind of an advantage to the players that have been the best all year. Like that's why you keep the rankings all year, right? So
Yeah.
what do you think though? Do you like starting with an advantage in golf, or are you not for that?
I'm not the biggest fan of it. Kind of like you said, I understand, like, like to be the best, you gotta be the best, in a sense, you know what I mean? So if you work harder to get to the top of the standings, but like 10 under, like to start 10 under, and like if I had to go and play a tournament and the best guy in the world is starting at 10 under,
Yeah.
why play? You know what I mean? Like at this point, it's like some of these dudes don't have a chance. You know what I mean? Like you really don't. Like
I'd say probably outside of the top 5. Like if you're already at that six strokes behind, like where Rory and that level is, like that's tough.
Yeah, you know how bad Scotty Scheffler has to play. You know what I mean? Like even Xander Schauffele, like even just 2 under below Scotty, like that could be tough. Like, you know what I mean? Like Scotty is that good. So it's like bro could stay in second the entire time. Scotty could stay up, and like you never had a shot because Scotty's having a decent enough weekend. And I don't know. I guess for the game check, obviously I'm a play, but that definitely does make it very, very difficult to want to be competitive. You know what I mean? Like imagine you're playing a one-on-one basketball game like Michael Jordan, and you're going to 21 and he's got a 15, he starts with a 15-point handicap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like what?
Yeah.
Like what? Like I already got to play this dude and he got a 15-point lead on me off the rip. Like there's no way. Like,
yeah, it should be the other way around.
Yeah. You feel me? Like exactly. Like give me the 15-point lead. Let this dude catch up.
Right. Yeah, I think it is really weird, but I mean, obviously, over the course of a 4-day tournament, you're gonna have that movement, and it kind of does put a little bit of pressure on those top guys, though. Like, okay, you got you started with the lead, so, but I don't know. I was trying to look at the odds to see like some of these guys in that like 7 under, like maybe Matsuyama or Keegan Bradley, like they have long odds, but you never know. They have a chance at it,
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that works, but definitely pretty cool. And the winner, whoever does end up winning, $25 million prize, which is insane. Scotty Scheffler has already made $30 million in earnings on this tournament on the tour this year, which is insane.
Yep.
And won a gold medal at the Olympics. Like, dang, this would be the ultimate capper. So we'll be watching that for sure. We'll have to see. Anthony says Ohtani or Judge.
Ohtani for me. I love Aaron Judge. Like, dude's he's a monster. He's a beast. But the pitching gives me the over. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to pitch and hit like this on a yearly basis since he's been in the league is crazy. And like you said, the elbow surgery, and even though not being able to pitch and still be able to come out here and do what he's done all year and still being granted MVP right now, likely he's going to go to Aaron Judge, but Ohtani's still in the conversation. It's just it's going to go to Judge, you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's Ohtani for me for sure too. Like,
yeah.
And also coming from where he was coming from, like, and I know it's like I talk about that sometimes, like that pressure, right, of being so good, but it's like he had to transition and like didn't skip a beat, like versus like Judge, like not to say he came out of nowhere, like I'm pretty sure he was a first round pick, not like a top pick, but he was an early round pick, but he still had to work his way up to becoming the monster he was. He just had the size and power and had to work through it. So
exactly. And like think about too, like expectations, you know what I mean? Like not expectations, but like for example, like Judge, there's major expectations in New York, right? Because it's the Yankees, for crying out loud. But you have Ohtani on the Angels at first, and he's a Dodger now, and nothing's changed. Like dude's still a beast. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's Ohtani for me.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, this is interesting. Stephanie said, curious to know your thoughts on how the Saudis are taking over major U.S. sports. We should have like a whole nother side conversation about this one. I think this is such a great question. But I guess my initial quick answer, I would say, is my thoughts are we've done this to ourselves. Like literally we've made money the king of everything in sports, and it's always been about getting bigger contracts, bigger TV rights, more mega deals, sell more jerseys, more trademarks, build bigger stadiums. It's just been inevitable. Like the way things have gone, they've prioritized the money, and there's a big major pool of money that people see that as like, this is a great investment. Even just looking at how like sports teams, like these owners that got in like the early 2000s or whatever, and now they're selling now for like billions for
Yeah.
these franchises. Like it's insane. And like, I think, I just think it was inevitable the way things are going, and I don't think it will stop. I just feel like they're going to be sneakier about how they do it, or where the money's coming from. Stephanie said yes, we should next show. Yeah, we should see. We might be able to do it next show. I know we'll have a lot of stuff coming up for the NFL, but I think we should do like a little extra breakdown on that for sure.
Yeah.
We should actually probably get to it before football season starts, but I don't know. It is pretty crazy though to think about it and to see, but also it's like you have your sports like golf, right, with Live, that they were like adamant against it, and then you have some other sports that are, secretly opening up to it, including the NFL, who the owners approved today that they could start taking private equity investments up to 10%. So there's gonna be some major deep pockets coming after some get a chunk of some NFL teams next too. So it's crazy. Anthony West says thinks Judge was originally drafted by the Athletics. Pop says Witt is the real MVP because of his talents, greatness, love for the game, and all out hustle. He's the man. Only hitting the 3 double plays. Dang, that's crazy. He is a little bit of everything though, and he's definitely he does it all. Stephanie says the LA boxing production was nuts. I didn't see that. What was that? Was that the Mayweather thing, or because I know Mayweather fought this weekend in some exhibition. Everybody was mad that they paid for it, but I don't know if that's what you're referencing, but
yeah, I seen that he got the referee fired mid-fight.
Like, what the heck?
Oh, that's weak,
That's
bro.
funny. That's how you know they're like, no, we're not messing around. Like, just get out of here.
Yeah, dude, it's hilarious. I was like, damn, how you get fired mid-fight?
Right. On your day off. But yeah, well, I don't know. We'll have to see about that though. You'll have to let us know about that one, Stephanie. All right, I did want to get into college sports a little bit. We had that week 0 upset, Florida State going down to Georgia Tech, which Georgia Tech is a solid team, but Florida State had big expectations after being, left out of the playoff last year.
Yeah.
What did you think about this upset?
It was crazy. I mean, I think me and Pops talked about it a little bit on Saturday, and I don't know if it was the being in Dublin, Ireland. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that had something to do with it or what, but Georgia Tech, they are a tough team. Like this is not the first team that they've upset in the last, say, 5 years or so. Like they kind of have a habit of doing it a little bit, but I think you look at the odds and things that on the gambling spectrum, and they were supposed to lose this game by a nice amount of points, and
yeah,
they were never at any risk. You know what I mean? They were leading for the majority of the game. You know what I mean? And ended up going into overtime, and they ended up winning in overtime. But it was it's crazy. Now they got to fight all the way back, and I know Florida State was talking all that stuff.
Yeah,
all last year about if this if that, and you lose your opening game to Georgia team. That's not good.
Yeah, exactly. You usually lose it to the other team from Georgia. So
yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I think it is funny to think that that they came out like that. But I do want to talk about the new playoff format and why it might not be the end of their season. They're in the ACC. They're a weaker team, so maybe not a weaker team, a weaker conference. So maybe they can bounce back. But I did want to take a look and remind everybody of the new format we're going into, and also want to welcome in Scruff Zona, new viewer tapping in. Thank you for checking in on us. Appreciate you being a part of the show. And definitely keep the comments coming for sure. Pop says drinking age is 13 in Ireland. So yeah, maybe they had a late night. You know what I'm saying? Florida State was having a little bit too much fun off that.
It was out there throwing them back.
Yeah, off that Guinness or something.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, the playoff. I thought this was a good infographic I found regarding the new format for the playoffs. The top 4 conference champions will have a bye, and then the top 5 ranked conference champions will get in. So that 5th seed will be a conference champion from one of the, the power conferences. So I still think that, maybe Florida State could find their way in. If they can win the ACC, they can still get into the playoff. But if they play that way, against the competition that's not supposed to be up to snuff, then obviously they might not make it there. But I definitely think there's going to be a lot more with it going all the way to 12, a lot more 2-loss teams, maybe even a 3-loss team getting into the playoffs this year. So you never know. It's a whole new ballgame for sure.
True. Very true.
Earthly says, I'm looking forward to see what Colorado does on Thursday. Yes. Coach Prime, is still a draw, but obviously the hype from the beginning of last year, kind of came to a halt towards the end of the year. Just with obviously their schedule though was crazy. Like, we weren't expecting them to go undefeated or do anything crazy, but Coach Prime is still a draw, and I still want to see what his son is going to do because they have him as one of the higher ranked quarterbacks out there. So
I think they have him right now as the highest ranked quarterback right now, or at least for draft wise. I think
it's going into next year. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope they have a great season, but honestly, to me, even if they win at least 4 games, then they're going to be okay. Because what they won 4 last year, right? So So I guess at least 5. You know what I'm saying? Just keep the improvement train going. Building. Scruff says teams better put up points and not barely squeeze by with the wins. That's for real too, though. I think there's going to be a lot more teams that are going to be going for style points because the difference between like being 10th ranked and like 15th ranked ain't as big a difference as being like 1st and 10th. There's like more splitting hairs down there. So I do think there's going to be a lot more people that are going for style points. True. And I love that. It should be just like the NCAA game. Like don't stop. You know what I'm saying? Keep scoring on people.
For sure.
Unk says, hello fam. What's good, Unk? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you tapping in. Earth says they've been piecing things together, brought Warren Sapp for the deep line. I did see Warren Sapp some different footage of him, and apparently he loves coaching, man. He's doing a good job with the kids down there. So that's what's up, I love to see it. And college is just so much fun because you really just don't know what's going to happen in college. Like the bigger upsets, like it's just a lot of fun. And on that note, I do want to do our teams. So we got 5 teams we selected, and we're gonna do some college football rankings. And we're gonna start with Missouri. This is for Pops. This is for Anthony, and also this is as a reminder because I think Missouri. I don't know if they play Thursday too. Yeah, I think they play on Thursday too. So, so that's what's up. We'll get to see them going against Murray State. Obviously, that's a win. But honestly, I wanted to do the NCAA a little bit different. I just want to look at these schedules and say
how many they lose.
Yeah, exactly. Who are their potential losses? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So out of their 12-game schedule, Missouri here, I'm seeing they're on the road at Alabama. That's tough. Auburn, Alabama, Oklahoma, 3 in a row is a tough stretch, So I'm thinking that out of those, if they come out though 2-1 out of those 3, they're going to be in really good shape.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm looking at that Alabama game. Also, Mississippi State is not necessarily a pushover, but I don't know. I like the OU element too because that's like an old rivalry renewed, from the Big 12. So I'm looking at this though. I don't know. I still think maybe 10-2. I feel like they're going to drop a couple games, but OU games.
I'm thinking 10-2 as well because there's a couple of games that could be possible upsets too that you just never know. I can't really see them losing home to Arkansas towards the end, but Arkansas is always a tricky team too.
True.
But even as an OU fan, I'm a little worried. It's their first year in the SEC, and on top of that too, it's kind of like like how are they going to fare? You know what I'm saying? They lost a lot of players to the portal again. You know what I'm saying? So
true.
I'm interested to see like where they're going to be at if that's in order. If that's at week 9. You know what I mean? Like how are they going to look in week 9? Hopefully more polished and not going on these losing streaks that they happen to do when they go 7-0 and then they lose 2-3 in a row.
True.
Which usually ends up kicking them out of the playoffs. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a weird adjustment, and because some of those teams that might pop up and you know and just play you tough and just kind of catch you off guard. So Anthony West says, "Thank God, no Georgia." That's a new thing too, because the SEC has those added teams, so they're going basically divisionless, or there's like these little core divisions where you're going to play a couple teams, but not necessarily the conferences East and West like they used to have. So
Correct. Yeah.
it's going to be more of a rotating basis because before that, Georgia, Missouri was every single year. So, um, I'm thinking though 10-2 as well, and I think that this is going to be one of those interesting things where Pop says Mizzou will make the playoffs. I think that they probably will if they can stay up that high because they don't have to win the SEC, and if they're outside of
Right.
that SEC championship game, say it's Georgia and Texas or whatever, and they don't have to play that extra game, then they'll
Yep.
still be up there. They'll still be in the top 12 if they do
And
that
strength
well.
of
So
schedule matters. So I mean, like you see, bro, you got Auburn, Alabama, NOU back to back to back. Like that's that's tough, dog.
right,
That's tough for any team. You know what I mean?
yeah. So they're gonna
Usually,
find out a
for
lot
a
about
really
them.
tough team, you get a week or two off. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Honestly, that last 6 games, Auburn, Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Arkansas, that's no pushovers really.
Real. That's a crazy schedule.
But I'm gonna put them 10-2. I think it's gonna be 10-2 or 9-3, but I think they have a good chance to be up there. So
For sure.
this might be their breakout year. Unc says, whatever happens, please keep Notre Dame out. You know that's not gonna happen. They're gonna be in the top 12. The only interesting thing though with Notre Dame is they cannot earn a bye because they're not in a major conference. So they can't be one of those top 4 conference champions and get a bye. But I still think they'll be in the top 12 when it's all said and done, probably.
Oh yeah. They constantly fall into the top like 5 every season. So like they gonna make the top 12 for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's keep this thing moving. We got your boys now next. OU. We're gonna go to OU, and the crazy thing is, I'm looking at their schedule, and it's gonna be different, but depending on how they play, I think they could have a solid season. And then they, maybe don't have to be so worried about them, but obviously they still have Texas again, which I love. That rivalry will not go away. The fact that they're moving together. Springfield in the building was good. Notre Dame alum, Unc. So you know what I'm saying? He's definitely on you with that. And I do think Notre Dame is going to make the playoff. But shout out to Springfield, throwing the Shamrock out there. Appreciate you joining the show today. But yeah, I think Notre Dame will be in there. We'll see. But yeah, so getting back to the OU schedule, I mean, Texas is obviously a tough one. Tennessee is going to be pretty tough. They have Missouri, Alabama, and LSU to be kind of that tail end of the season. So,
like I said, man, it's really gonna depend on how they do their first year in the SEC. Like I know they've been focusing on defense as they have been focusing on offense pretty much the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I know that's a pretty tough schedule too. You know what I mean? And I think they get an SEC team, Temple, for their first game in the SEC. You know what I mean? And I don't know, like they're supposed to beat them, I think, by like 40 or something like that. It is, but I don't know. This is tricky.
Yeah.
I can see them losing. I can honestly, like, truth be told, just because of the strength of the schedule, I could easily see them losing 3, maybe 4 games in their first year, and then getting stronger as the years go. I hope not, but it's going to be difficult. You know what I mean? The same thing towards the end, like you said, LSU, Bama, Missouri, Texas midway through.
Yeah, that is tough. I don't know. I'm thinking 9-3 or maybe 8-4.
I'm kind of thinking 8-4. Again, they lost some pointless games last year that they shouldn't have lost. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I don't know. I don't really know a lot about the team currently. I don't even think Gabriel is the quarterback this year.
No, he went to Oregon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Transferred to Oregon. Yeah,
so I'm all right. As of right now, honestly, I'm not even sure who the quarterback is.
I'm thinking that we're gonna have to slot them 8-4. If they had 9-3 though, that would be a great season, honestly.
Oh, definitely it would. Again, first year in the SEC, like I think them losing 3 games would not be a failed year. You know what I mean? But I think it's going to be a real tough year for them, especially because right now they're so middle of the pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they'll be all right.
They'll be all right. But let's slot them in 8-4. I definitely, I could see that many losses out there. All right, let's do Georgia next. Georgia's is can they have some tough games on their schedule? Clemson is a good opener.
Mhm.
Excuse me, so they can find out right away. You got Alabama, um, you got Texas. Even their little stretch: Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State, Texas, Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee. Like, dang, that's a lot of good teams right there. That's a lot of people that are going to try to give you their. Obviously, they're going to be giving you their best shot.
Exactly. They're gonna get everybody's best week in and week out. I still see them going undefeated or losing one. And the one that I'm looking at honestly is either Bama or Texas, but only because Texas played Bama so strong 2 years in a row. One of the years beating them, and then that year 2 years ago probably beat them if the quarterback doesn't get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So that's going to be a tough game. I still don't see them losing to Texas, but it'll still be a tough one. And I'm also curious to see like what Bama's going to look like. You know what I'm saying in the in this new era of their program. But
Yeah.
I'd say undefeated, maybe one game, maybe one, and that's just because of how hard it is to go undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. That's what I'm saying too, and I do want to welcome Aunt Pam to the show. Go Dogs!
yep.
You know she's out there. She's out there this year holding it down. So that's what's up, Kelly, as well with the Go Dogs. I don't want to be like, I don't want to be too much of a homer, but I don't see if we're playing spades. I just see a possible. I don't even see one.
Right? Is it a long possible?
Exactly. So I mean, like, I think I'm going 12-0. I honestly have a feeling that it's going to be harder, and I can't project out that far, but I feel like the regular season they're going to be ready. I think Alabama, they're going to be ready for them, even though it's at Alabama, that's tough, and it's at Texas, that's tough. But they're just so prepared. They're just so prepared during the regular season. I see them having probably a better chance to lose in the SEC championship game because they're going to have to be beating one of these teams again for the second time, probably.
Right.
And you know how those go, but I'm going 12-0, man. Unless the panel has any issues or unless you have any issues, I see them.
I said undefeated at the very least one, but that's just the two of the best teams on their schedule, maybe giving them some trouble. Right. But like I still don't see them really losing those games.
Yeah, for sure.
Even Bama hasn't been Bama in the last 3 seasons. Not the Bama we're used to seeing, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Exactly. Kelly said they can't keep us out of the top this year, and that's for sure. That's the one great thing is like there's definitely that margin for error, but I see them being one of those top teams. The top 12, all they need to do is get into the playoff and go from there. Unk says, Alex, you like Brock Bowers? I do. He's a beast. I think he's going to be great for the Raiders, regardless of who their quarterback is. Especially because in that offense they use the tight end a lot in this new offense, as we were seeing during the regular season. So I think they're going to be good. I think Brock's going to be good. He's going to have a good rookie year. He's one of those guys that he's been playing like as a man amongst boys, honestly, for the past couple of years.
For real.
So this will be cool to see him in the NFL. Absolutely. All right, let's jump to Texas, another one of those teams, and this one's for Marcus. Unk says, who is quarterback for Texas? It's Quinn Ewers, whatever, however you say it. But Manning is perched behind him, if he struggles. But Quinn Ewers was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So, I mean, he's good. I don't see Manning upsetting or unseating him this time. So, I don't know. Oh, Pops is comment on Georgia. Tough schedule. Might drop one, but we'll punish everyone for sliding us last year.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying too, man. Like, absolutely.
All right, so on Texas's one, so they have, which is a crazy good matchup at the beginning, non-conference game at Michigan, right? Which is pretty crazy how the schedule fell this time, with them being their first year in the SEC, and you got to go play a team like Michigan too. Still have Oklahoma on there, Georgia, but then they didn't get any of the too crazy heavy hitters from the SEC, but still Vanderbilt, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and then Texas A&M.
Yep.
Texas A&M might be a tricky one too. That's a throwback from the Big 12 too.
Yeah.
But how do you see Texas's schedule going?
Honestly, I feel like they'll do better than OU, but I'm kind of like with Pops. I think that they can easily. I think they'll lose 3. I think they lose 3 for sure. I think, and going into 4, I feel like Oklahoma loses 4 to 5, and I feel like they lose at least 3 to 4. But I think both of them coming into the SEC for their first season is going to be a little bit of a struggle, right? They're top dogs in their conference forever. You know what I mean? And I think it's going to be a little bit tricky. Like you said, you got Michigan. They're conference champions
coming off the
We'll see how that goes. But again, you still got to play Oklahoma, a team that's very, very comfortable with you. There's no telling who loses that game. And then you got Georgia, Vanderbilt, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Texas A&M. It's rough too.
Yeah,
Lots of rough 5 weeks. There is no dominant team in that. Kentucky knows them well, so we'll see.
Yeah, I had them coming in. I was thinking more of like a 10-2, but I would meet you at the 9-3. If you I think that's true. I think 3 because Michigan, Georgia, maybe Texas A&M, Oklahoma. Yeah, that's a tough one. But I say 9-3.
9-3.
If you're good with that.
Yeah,
but at least
like I said OU 4 to 5 and then 3 to 4. I feel like they lose 3, could be 4, but they're still a really good team. So maybe it's like a really tough game if they sneak one out.
Yeah.
And then OU kind of same thing. I think they lose 4. Same thing with that 5th one. It's like might be tricky, but then they end up toughing it out. But I feel like both of them are going to struggle a little bit this year. Texas was better than us last year, so they probably just have a little bit slight better record. They have more players returning from last year as well.
True. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting for sure because it's different when it's week to week to week. So,
yeah.
All right, last one we're going to do as like a little bit of a wild card, but a team that I'm actually expecting to do really well this year. We've got Oregon here, and they're moving to the Big Ten for the first time, so they have to play a kind of a different gauntlet, but still a tough schedule. They have Michigan State on here, Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin. Washington's kind of a rivalry renewed from last year. That's the one team they really couldn't beat last year, but obviously things have changed.
Yeah.
But for me, I've got them going 10-2. I think that Michigan and Ohio State will be tough ones.
Same.
Outside of that, that's going to be their wake-up call to the Big Ten, especially the one at Michigan is going to be a little bit colder, a little bit different,
Yep.
Not that Oregon's not cold. I don't know why I always think of the Pac-12 teams. I think of like LA and palm trees and stuff, but
right.
Cold too. But yeah, I've got them going 10-2. But I think they're definitely going to be in the playoff this year.
Yeah, I agree. I looked at the schedule. I was like, I got them going 10-2 as well. It's going to be tough between Michigan and Ohio State. But looking at the other teams in there, they're not going to roll over. But I feel like they'll be all right.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's what's up. That was our last college prediction. So definitely want everybody to enjoy week 1 this weekend. Yeah, I'll be posting about the little film screening that I'm going to be a part of on Friday. But other than that, Pop says 10-2 or 9-3 for Oregon.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think what were we going to say? Next week we'll be going to our double format. We'll be kind of expanding our format because we'll be coming back with Secure the Bag, and doing all of our NFL predictions, all of our game predictions, and then bringing you 3 locks. I think we're going to try to get some guest pickers too, some different people cycling into the show. So that's going to be very exciting. But we're looking forward to like what will be our 3rd full season of that, 3rd time having a separate season. So that's what's up. Steven, yeah, he's ready. He got the ice cubes ready.
Oh, hey.
And that's what's beautiful about being on the West Coast is like it starts at 9 a.m. It goes all day until nighttime. Like versus like on the East Coast, like you got to wait till noon, 12:31 for things to pop off. We got it going on all day, so definitely going to be celebrating the return of college football this weekend. But yeah, I think we're just right at about time. We did it again. I want to thank everybody for coming through and dropping comments and watching the show. Your support really, really means the world to us, and it helps us keep going on this streak. And we're going to keep it moving. Next week will be 262 weeks in a row, so that's what's up.
Yep.
And yes, we will be doing the weekly pick'em starting next Thursday to kick off the NFL season. So check your Yahoo But also, I'll be sending out the links because we did renew the league, so it's the same one. If you were in there before, you should be able to get right back into it. And yeah, we'll make sure we get our picks in before next week too.
Yep.
Get them Super Bowl squares popping. I think we're good there, though. Anything else, Strizzy, you want to end us off with?
Not that I can think of. Check in with Moms and Kel, see if they're down to do the fantasy team.
Okay.
And then if they want to, technically they can both join if Steph's not doing fantasy, and then we can figure out how many we have and kind of go from there. But
I think and put Earthy's boy in there too.
Yeah, exactly.
Might as well just send that out.
Yep, we need one more. We can grab Earthboy as well.
That's what's up. Okay, cool. All right, I'm excited for that. And definitely excited to get fantasy going. I got to get back my redemption, so this will be my comeback season. But again, appreciate everybody rocking with us, and always shout out to our brother Mad Marcus for everything he does to support us, and we're with him at this time too. We love you, brother, and thank you again. We'll see y'all next week. But until then, that's your boy A-Dub
and your boy Strizzy.
Peace.